best known for versatile acting.
The show is it's an unusual setting because really, I would say it's a medical drama, rather a medical thriller.
She has recently starred in Mumbai Diaries 2611.
The films which have been closest to me, though, I think are films which not a lot of people have seen. Sad. Like 16 Park Avenue, for me, was a game changer personally, but I don't know that many people have seen it.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Konkona Sen Sharma for excellence in acting.
Hello and welcome, Amita Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-list series. We're in conversation today with an actor who, of course, needs no introduction. She's starring in Amazon Prime's new web series, Mumbai Diaries 2611. Yes, I'm talking about Konkona Sen Sharma. She's live with us today on NewsX A-list. Welcome, Konkona, to our broadcast. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Uday. Thank you so much.
Well, great to see you back again, of course, through this virtual medium, and also for a very special show, which I think about an event which, of course, shook the entire country and, in fact, the entire world. So tell us a bit about your role, Konkona, and what attracted you to this project.
So in this, my role here is that I'm playing Chitra Das. She's the social services director of this government hospital in Mumbai. She's not a doctor, but she's from a medical background. The show is, it's an unusual setting because really, I would say it's a medical drama, rather a medical thriller, because this is set in this government hospital, Bombay General Hospital, with the backdrop of 2611, which has been fictionalized. But really, from the first time, we're seeing it from the point of view of the doctors. So it's really the personal lives of the doctors, the challenges of working in a government hospital, and set against the unprecedented events of 2611, where nobody's really prepared or nobody's ever trained to deal with these kind of circumstances. Yeah. For me, when I read the script, I found it very unusual. I've never played a doctor. Yeah. I've not really seen even a medical drama like this. And I think today, after COVID, we all have a newfound appreciation for our frontline workers and the difficulties that they go through. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's an homage to the frontline workers.
Yes, it is, of course, your team's tribute to the frontline workers. And you believe that this was important as well, because, we've often talked about the role, of course, of the security forces, but we often forget, the other frontline workers who also were instrumental, of course, in attacks like 2611, but in many other warlike situations as well. So do you believe that's important, to tell this story, of course, through their point of view? It is, of course, an entertaining project at the end of the day, but also sends out a message.
Yes, of course. No, I do think it's very important. I mean, despite the fact that it may be entertaining or, binge-worthy or, hopefully, or, the fact that it's a thriller, yeah. I think it's an unusual kind of a setting, as I said, and it is very important to remember this. And particularly, I think in a post-COVID, or at least in the, now that we've all been through the pandemic, and we've even seen how doctors have suffered. There have been attacks on doctors. They often have to deal with a lot of very difficult circumstances, where the shortage of PPE kits, or especially working in a government hospital where the situation is not always ideal, and we have a shortage of beds or equipment, supplies, etc. We sometimes forget, that doctors are not gods. And for them to perform, they need the infrastructure, they need the support also of, everybody around them. They have their own personal issues that they're dealing with. Plus, they have to deal with these kind of things. So I think that this is very relevant, particularly today.
Yes. Just speaking, of course, about 2611 now, do you remember where you were, at that point when Mumbai was attacked? Where were you? What were you up to those 3 days?
I was actually not in Mumbai. We had driven outside of Mumbai, and we got the news slowly. The news was trickling in. It was very shocking. And, I think what happened is initially we also didn't have a handle on exactly what was going on, because there were, events in multiple locations. It went on over 3 days. We also didn't know what, how it's going to unfold. It was not a contained one-off incident. It was a very insecure and frightening time. It was very confusing. Is it safe for us in our group whether we should drive back to Mumbai, what we should do? So that took us some time. Then when we came back, it was a time of, we were all in shock and disbelief. And everybody, whether somebody on the street or, a neighbor in the elevator, it was very shocking. And I think that there was a sense of this very uneasy kind of stillness that was over the whole city, a very heavy silence, that something, like this could have happened in Mumbai. And we never know when something would happen again. That was the fear.
True. Yes. No, it was, of course, as I said, an event which shook all of us. And I'm glad you're telling this tale. Of course, the team is telling this tale so we can relook at it from a completely different perspective. But just talking about the pandemic now, Konkona, as you were mentioning earlier, we have this, renewed respect for doctors, and of course also, the kind of work that they've put in through this pandemic. How has it really been like for you? The last year and a half. You're obviously used to, very busy life, traveling a lot for your shoots. So how was it for you? The first lockdown, the second, and the months that have followed.
Last year, I think we were all, I don't know, more full of hope, because I think we all felt that next year by this time, everything will be okay again.
Yeah.
So there was a sense of, I think, despair when the second lockdown started. We did get a brief respite in between. We all did a little bit of work. We thought things would get back to normal, and the second wave hit us like, nobody could have imagined, the way it played out. And now we are all living in fear of a third wave, as and when. Luckily now, I'm double vaccinated, and hopefully that is something that everybody will be vaccinated sooner rather than later. There were good things and bad things there. I think that, we all got to spend a lot of time at home and with the family. I adopted a dog last year. I spent a lot of time with my son, who's doing online school now. I learned to be more self-sufficient. I learned how to parallel park. These kind of small things were there.
Yeah.
Of course, I think I had it better than many other people. Yeah. Even though there were people in my family who have had COVID, we are all, touch wood, out of it. We're all okay. There are many people who had it much worse. There's a lot of gratitude as well, that there's some people who cannot afford to sit at home. They have to go to work. So it is a very difficult time, and there is a newfound appreciation for that we already have so much.
Yes.
And I don't know how it's going to be going forward. The ground realities are shifting every day. It is something we have to reassess constantly every few weeks, and then figure out what is the safest way to go forward for everybody. What is the most responsible way?
True.
And I think, vaccinations and masking and sanitizing, etc., these are the most important things.
Yeah, that is the way forward, no doubt, for now. But just looking forward for the industry as well. Now, you have done a lot of work recently on OTT, which has also really been appreciated. Now, of course, we are seeing, again, with things slightly better in certain states in the country, a reopening of cinemas and, of course, releases as well on the big screen once again. But how do you see the OTT medium also going forward? Do you believe there's going to be this balance of content for both, or do you believe, again, once the big screen opens its doors, there's going to be again priority given to the big screen, the theatrical experience, or do you believe this balance now will be maintained after this last year and a half OTT boom?
I don't know, it's hard to say what life will be like, because I don't think we'll ever really go back to how it used to be.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think that thanks to COVID, we've all really turned to OTTs, and the OTTs have provided us with a lot of diverse content. There have been many good things about it. We've gotten to see, many different kinds of actors, really shine. A lot of actors who may not have gotten their due in mainstream Hindi cinema. I personally, I've watched a lot more regional cinema than I normally would have. We've all gotten used to different kinds of formats, the anthologies, which are so popular now, short films, documentaries, mini-series, or season after season of your favorite show. And along with the diversity in content, in format, we've also seen some diversity in content where, you don't really have to follow the format of mainstream cinema as much. I hope it continues. Yeah. A lot of it will depend on audiences as well. Of course, I am myself looking forward to seeing, films in the theater. Yeah. Thank God for the OTTs. I just hope the OTTs will continue to, present us with content. What was fantastic about OTTs before was that there was no censorship.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have that. So, that's one thing to contend with. I don't think there should be censorship of any kind. We are all voting for our leaders. We can decide what we want to watch. And if somebody doesn't like something, we don't have to watch it.
True. Okay, last couple of questions for you. before we let you go. One, I think a question that a lot of your fans must be asking you as well. Will we see you back in the director's chair anytime soon or in the near future?
I don't know there. I don't know because you know what? I'm primarily an actor.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky and fortunate of late to have got some really interesting acting projects. So I mean, Dolly Kitty or Chamakti Sitare or Gili Puchi and Ajit Dastan. I've just completed a film with my mother, Aparna Sen, which is a very hard-hitting film about a rape, and it's going to go to the Busan Film Festival next month. So yeah, I've been quite busy. I'm also trying to write, but I think direction is very time-consuming. I also have a son who's 10, so my life is quite full.
Yeah.
I think that if I really am dying to tell a story, then I will, but I'm in no hurry.
Okay. And finally, when you look back now at your filmography, as you're saying, there's a lot more coming from your stable, so we look forward to that. But what do you believe, which project or which film for you was the game changer? I'm asking this question to a lot of interviewees these days. There's of course this award that's given after every IPL match these days called the game changer of the match. Who was the player who changed the game for their team? For you, in your filmography, is there one or two projects that you believe was a game changer for you, and which were those?
I think there have been a few because also I've been acting for 20 years.
Yes.
There have been a few. Of late, I would say that it's Gili Puchi in Ajit Dastan because I just got a lot of love for it, and I really have the director Neeraj Diwan and the writer Sumit Saxena to thank because playing somebody who's from the LGBTQ community, somebody who does come from an oppressed caste.
Yes.
That was a very interesting role for me to play. I brought out my inner man. I like to think. I think Wake Up Sid was a game changer for me because I think a lot of people. I mean that film was so well loved, and a lot of people really know me for that work. Page 3 was very early on because that was, again, a very popular film.
Yeah.
The films which have been closest to me, though, I think are films which not a lot of people have seen, sadly.
Okay.
Like 15 Park Avenue, for me, was a game changer personally, but I don't know that many people have seen it.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Iyer too, because it really brought me some recognition on a national kind of a level.
Yeah.
So I guess these in my
Great. Thank you very much once again for joining us. All the very best for Mumbai Diaries 2611, and here's to the next 20 years for you as well.
Thank you.
All of us. Thank you.
Thanks, Uday. Bye-bye.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.